Hey, what's up, guys? It's JRUSSO. Sorry I'm getting this out to you a little bit later today. Two things. For one, had a little bit of a busy morning, but also I just kind of wanted to really get the sweep today. I want to get the sweep every day, but it's been kind of frustrating that we haven't hit one in a minute now. And so I waited for the board to populate more and kind of just took my time. Found 4 picks that I feel good about, just like I do every day, but let's see if we can get these to sweep. So let's talk about yesterday. So today's March 14th, Flex Friday. So want to put out some bangers, and I want it to be a profitable Friday for us. So hope you're having a good weekend so far. And then, by the way, also moving forward, I'm going to be putting the link to the slips that I make in the description. So those of you that want to tail in a hurry, some of you have mentioned it, you like to tail and then watch the video. So they're going to be down below if you guys want to jump on Underdog or on Prizepicks. But let's talk about yesterday. So Cade Cunningham ended up falling short and they lost this game to Washington. Very surprising. We took him at 15. This was bouncing between 14.5 and 15. I felt good about both. He only went for 13. Brook Lopez continues to stay hot while Bobby Portis is out. 19 PRA, he went off for 32. Gabe Vincent did not show up. This game got out of hand pretty quickly. Even with Luka playing, 12.5 points assists, he only went for 7. And then DeMar DeRozan did beat his points, which was nice. I was expecting him to honestly be closer to 30, though, with the way his head-to-head looked, but we'll still take it. This game did turn into a blowout, so he would have probably, kept it going if he would have had his minutes a little bit longer there. He was like the only guy who had somewhat of a decent game. But yeah, 21.5 points. He ended up going for 23. So let's talk about the plays for today. Here's what I'm feeling. I've got a dunk prop that I do like, and that is Sengun against Dallas without any bigs for the most part. But we're going to go Mark Williams over 13.5 rebounds and assists. Alperen Sengun over 0.5 dunks. So just one dunk, we'll cash it. We're going to go RJ Barrett over 10.5 rebounds and assists. And then we're going Walker Kessler for over 13 rebounds. On Underdog, it's a little bit different. RJ Barrett's the same. Walker Kessler, we're getting it at 12.5. Mark Williams, same, 13.5 rebounds and assists. And then Alperen Sengun, they don't have dunks, so I still like his PRA. So I'll go on Daily Grind and show you some of the options for him if you don't want to go with the full PRA, but this should still be a really soft matchup for him against Dallas. And he popped off last time they matched up, which wasn't too long ago. So feeling good about all these. If you guys haven't signed up for Underdog yet and you want to, use code JRUSSO, just one word, my first initial, my last name, JRUSSO, and they're going to give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. If you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like the video, drop me a comment. Let's get into these plays. So RJ Barrett, this is to start us off. I loved this note from Outlier. He's exceeded 10.5 rebounds and assists in 5 straight games versus bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. And by a significant margin, 14 rebounds and assists, 100% hit rate over his last 5 against bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. Most recently against Washington, which is a soft matchup. We were expecting Cade to pop off again. Last time he was out, he went for exactly what Cade did the first time he played Washington, 18 total. So if we look at the small forward position, it is a little bit tough for the rebounding. With Utah, we know they're good, and I'm taking Kessler for a reason. But yeah, they're first in rebounds allowed, and been saying that for a long time now. It's actually kind of difficult to rebound against the Jazz when they're healthy, but they're still pretty banged up. They're gonna have Markkanen tonight, which will be nice because I like Markkanen. But they're still 25th in assists allowed. Now that's to the small forward position. In general, they're 10th in rebounds allowed overall and 28th in assists allowed overall. So feeling good about him being able to get this done. If we take a look at his last 5, it's almost just as good as against the bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. Still 4 out of his last 5. One more would have cashed him against Orlando. So we can see he is capable of doing this in tough matchups too. The second time he ended up playing Orlando, 2 days later, he went for 8 rebounds, 9 assists. He's really just been expanding. I mean, he's always been capable of being a facilitator, but he's really been like pushing it lately. He hasn't done this in either head-to-head so far, but the reason I'm still comfortable with this, if we look, he averaged 27.2 minutes, but the real thing here, the rebound chances were there. So in 24 minutes, first time he matched up, he had 13 rebound chances, converted that into 6. So a little under 50% of his opportunities, he pulled down a board. And then the next time they matched up, and this is all from last season, but next time they matched up, 30.1 minutes, he had 11 rebound opportunities, pulled down 7. He had 2 assists in both of those games, but RJ has been playing a different type of ball lately. If you look at, actually, let's go back here for a minute. If you look at the potential assists, 2.5 potential assists. He wasn't really trying to facilitate that much. If you jump over here to his last 5, and we look at the potential assists, all the way up to 13.5. That's what, like 4.5, 5x, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 10-point bump in assists. And so the rebounds were already there, and he's been capable of doing that and kind of converting that lately. 2-3 straight games with 8 or more rebounds. And again, one of those was against Orlando. Pretty tough. But yeah, I mean, his minutes are up. They've kind of been, sort of trending down a little bit, but the average here over the last 5 is at 32. And that is a little bit deceiving, actually, because this first of these 5, he has a 40-minute game, which is kind of like bumped it up. And then you've got these that are kind of trended down a little bit. So we can call it like 30 minutes, 29 minutes, but if we zoom out a little bit, he's done this 6 out of his last 10 games. But the assists have still been there in these games. 5 assists against Orlando when he missed. Against Indiana, still 5 assists, and then 4 assists. So he's trying to facilitate. So even over this 10-game stretch, it's still 10.3. Again, when we looked at the head-to-head last time he played, it was 2.5. So there's a totally different situation here for him with his facilitating role, and they're 28th in assists allowed. So I'm confident he can get the rebounds done, and I think the assists are going to be the difference maker in this head-to-head. So feeling good about it. Let's see what Daily Grind thinks real quick. All right. Where are you at? Okay, so they're feeling good about it going over. 51.36% odds hit the over, minus 122. And there's some heavy juice on this on like BetMGM and Caesars, minus 130, minus 125. No one's got this favored to go under. It's either a 50-50 shot or they're favoring it to go over. They do like his points to go over as well. 19.5, they have that at a 51.4% odds hit the over, minus 123. And they like his first quarter points over 5 the best at 52.22% odds hit the over, minus 129. Oddly enough, they're not feeling the assists. I don't know if it's because of the head-to-head. It's actually, now that I look at it, everyone else has this at 4.5. So they don't like that. Prizepicks has it at 5. They may have opened at 5 and a bunch of people took it, they may have opened it at 4.5 and a bunch of people took it over 4.5, and then they're going to adjust and try to hedge their bets, and they're going to bump it up, try to encourage people to take the under, so that whichever way the prop goes, they're at least even on their money. That's how things work. But yeah, I still feel like he's going to go over 5 personally. He had 2 in both of those head-to-heads when he was averaging 2.5 potential assists. So that's like, I mean, I don't even know what that hit rate is. That's like probably up in the 80s hit rate. So I think he's going to have more opportunities this time around and get things done for us. So Mark Williams, I'm going to be attaching the assist here. Look at this note from Outlier. He's exceeded 13.5 rebounds and assists in 9 straight games versus bottom 10 defenses for assists allowed. So the matchup to the center position, 15th in rebounds allowed, 16th in assists allowed. So just middle of the road, nothing special. But they're also without Victor Wembanyama, obviously. But they've got more injuries than that tonight. Charles Bassey is out. De'Aaron Fox out for the season, unfortunate. And then obviously Victor Wembanyama. So yeah, they're really struggling with injuries. It's sad to see, but in these types of matchups though, because we know like overall is what the note is about. So they're 27th in rebounds allowed, 21st in assists allowed. So in these types of matchups, he's got a 100% hit rate in 9 games. So he's averaging 17.3. We're getting it at 13.5. He's never even gone as low as 14. It's always been 15 or more. The majority of this is rebounds, but I mean, his rebounds are set at 11, and we can see that some of these matchups he is getting the full 3 assists here, even one with 4 assists against Phoenix. And he's going to have a soft matchup for everyone surrounding him, Miles Bridges and the gang. So I think if he is attempting assists, he's going to be getting it to guys who should have soft matchups and can convert those to assists. So let's take a look at the last 5. So he's cleared it 3 out of his last 5. He didn't get it done against Minnesota, and he didn't get it done against Miami, but just did it against Atlanta. We took him over 10.5 rebounds in that matchup, and he ended up popping off for 14. Yeah, he's averaging 19 rebound chances. Pretty good conversion rate if you consider that. He had 24 opportunities against Atlanta, pulled down 14 of those. Now he's got a really soft matchup with like the 3rd string center. 2.4 potential assists. And I mean, it's not that difficult when you sort of commanding the paint the way he does. He's been getting active with scoring lately, so when he draws attention, he's gonna have guys he can dish it to. It's not going to be a lot, but maybe he can get us three assists tonight. Would be nice to help us get over this mark here. Let's take a look. Actually, let's look at his minutes real quick. So yeah, he's averaging 28.8 minutes, just 1.8 fouls, keeping it clean, and yeah, 2.4 potential assists, 19 rebound chances. Let's look at daily grind real quick. Okay, so they don't like his full PRA. I thought that was a little steep too, because you just never know who's going to capitalize. They're really favoring the under here. This must have been bumped because, I mean, Pinnacle has us at a minus 130 to go under. Daily Grind has it at a minus 126. BetMGM minus 135. Caesar's more middle of the road. They're just a minus 117, but the rebounds and assists, they do like to go over as his best over. 51.81% odds hit the over, minus 129. BetMGM has it at a minus 130 to go over. Underdog minus 122. They do like his steals, and I do too. 0.5. Dude has been, I'll show you real quick. He's been getting after it with the defense. I was thinking about taking his fantasy score, but they've inflated these fantasy score numbers so much lately. But look at this. I mean, it's been solid. A steal in 4 out of his last 5 games. He's got 2 steals against Miami. So I like that too. Let's look at the matchup for it. 16th in steals allowed. And that's just, a lot of this rating here is still has Victor Wembanyama baked in, because this is like the whole season rankings. So they're on their 3rd string guy. No Charles Bassey tonight. So I think he's going to be vulnerable. I think Mark Williams can grab 1 steal. So that looks pretty tempting as well. They like his points rebounds over 27.5, 51.68% odds hit the over, minus 125. And they like his rebounds alone at 11. You could take that if you don't want the assist attached. It's a 2.5 point bump, but he's gotten 3 a decent amount of times in these types of matchups. So I like having that connected there, just in case he ends up going for, I guess to make it worth it, if he didn't hit his rebounds and the assist got us there, he would need 4 assists. So if you prefer taking the rebounds alone, go for it. But I do like this matchup, and I think he's going to be able to get it done. So let's keep rolling here. All right, so Sengun. Let's talk about the underdog pick real quick. The 36.5 PRA. This is the head-to-head. Last time he played them was just on February 8th. They were still without the majority of their bigs out in Dallas, and he was able to get things done. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And I think we took his points in that game. I want to say it was at like 19.5, and I think we cashed it that day. But he does have a soft matchup for scoring: 22nd in points allowed, 18th in rebounds allowed, 16th in assists allowed. He's done this in 3 out of 5 head-to-head matchups, and the 2 that he missed, 1 more bucket. Wouldn't quite have cashed it, but he's right there at 33. We're 36.5, so 2 more buckets, or a little bit of rebounds. My point is, he was pretty close in the times that he did miss it. He averages 33.8 minutes a game across these head-to-heads, and this is like spanning. It's pretty consistent, because this is across like all the way back to late 2023, but does average 33.8 minutes. 18.8 rebounds, 8.4 potential assists. He's kind of sneaky with the assist game for sure. And then 52% from the field on 16.4 attempts. Not really getting much done from beyond the arc, but we know that he's been kind of making that a part of his game more often lately. Let's take a look at his last 5 PRA. So 4 straight games of not getting this done. Surprisingly, actually, I think it was actually against the Pelicans when we took his points that time. And he just barely made it. But yeah, so the PRA, he does have 4 straight games here without getting it done. Let's see what these looked like. 109 to 97, not a blowout. Okay, so this game against the Pelicans was definitely a blowout. Let's see if the minutes are correlating here. Not necessarily. How about the attempts? Yeah, his attempts have just been going down. 7 of 7. Okay, well, we'll look at some other options too if you don't want the PRA, but the main thing I'm taking is the dunks on Prizepicks. That's what I'm mainly excited about. Since they didn't have it on Underdog, the PRA looked good to me. Let's look at his last 5 for dunks. So 3 out of his last 5 games, he's gotten at least 1 dunk. He just played Phoenix on the 12th. He went for 3 dunks. 3 dunks against New Orleans, and then 1 dunk against New Orleans. And then he's got this matchup against Dallas, who just has no bigs here. So let's take a look at the head-to-head for the dunks. 4 out of his last 5 matchups, almost his entire career, he's been able to get at least 1 dunk against Dallas. Most recently on February 8th, he had 2 dunks, and then 1 dunk before that. 1 game without it, and then 2 and 1. So I just like this play where we only need 1 dunk for it to cash. So I'm going to be going with it, but you can pivot to whatever you'd like. Let's look at daily grind real quick. Sengun. We'll see how that PRA looks, and look at some of his other options. So they like his blocks and steals over 1.5. 52.02% odds at the over -128. They like his points over 20.5 if you wanted to take that. 51.51% odds to hit the over -124. Everyone has this at a 50-50 shot, or the majority have it pretty juiced to go over the 20.5 points. And then the PRA, they do like to go over 50.17% odds to hit the over -117. And everyone's kind of got this sort of middle of the road. There are some as high as -122, 120. So you can kind of go with your gut there. They're not feeling his rebounds and assists alone or his rebounds alone. They like his first quarter points over 5.5. They have that at a 51.92% odds to hit the over. But yeah, I mean, I feel like he should be able to run it back and have a similar game as he did last time they played in early February. So I'm going to be taking the dunk on Prizepicks, the full PRA on Underdog. Let's look at this last play here, Walker Kessler. Very excited about this play. So we know what he's capable of with rebounding. Yeah, he's only cleared this line 2 times out of his last 5, but one of these was against Toronto, who he's playing tonight, and he went for 25 rebounds. We had him in that game, and he had like 18 rebounds in the first half. So I like him to be able to get this done again. That was just on March 7th, so that was just about a week ago. Yeah, 22nd in rebounds allowed to centers. Just beautiful. Look at this though. 35 rebound chances. He pulls down 25 of them. It was absolutely nuts. Now, Lauri Markkanen is back, so you do have to consider that because that's going to be Markkanen's also pretty solid at rebounding the ball. He's only cleared this 19 out of 50 games because his line has been bumped up a little bit. But let's look at when Markkanen is available to draw a little bit of attention. Okay, so that's still around 33. It is a high line, but he's been really popping off on the back half of the season. If we look at his last 5 games with Markkanen, it's 19, 17, and 14. And this is against tough teams. This is Oklahoma City. He grabbed 19 rebounds last time he played with Markkanen, 17 against Houston, 14 against Memphis. So these are not easy matchups. You got 12th, 7th, and 26. So yeah, I forgot. Oklahoma City actually, they do allow a decent amount of rebounds, but still, you think about that type of team, and it's just like, wow. Still, I don't care like how soft you are at the position or at that particular stat. 19 rebounds is saying a lot. That game was 130 to 107. Let's see how many minutes he played. 31 minutes. So his minutes look, let's see, with Markkanen, they're around that 30 mark. Let's look at what it's been lately. 29.4. So yeah, kind of popped up. Last time he played Toronto, he went for 33.2. They've been kind of like tapering off a little bit, but I think he's still good for at least that 30-minute mark. So now let's go back to 2024, and let's just see when he's getting 30 minutes, which has been about his average. Okay, so it bumps up to 47% hit rate. Now let's throw Markkanen into the mix. Okay, 41% hit rate. So it is a little bit better than it first looked. If we look at the last 5, where you've had at least 30 minutes. So he's 3 out of his last 5, 22 against Phoenix, 19 against Oklahoma City, 17 against Houston. So yeah, go with your gut. I'm going to be taking this. This is actually, I'm going to throw this. I'm going to just take a chance and probably see if they have a demon for this. And it just seems like a demon candidate to me. So let's take a look at Kessler real quick. Because I think we got it at 13 flat. Yeah, so it's 13 flat. That's the other thing. It's that 0.5 makes a big difference, in my opinion, when you're talking about a line this high for a category like rebounding. So I'm really happy to be getting it at 13. It's at a 51.03% odds to hit the over, according to Daily Grind, minus 122. And mind you, you guys know how sometimes it'll not like something because it's 0.5 higher. Well, in this case, a lot of these platforms, well, not a lot, actually. There's a few, though, that have it at 12.5, and we're getting it at 13, and they still like it at 51% to hit the over. But then it's at 13.5 on a lot of platforms, too. I still like the 13.5 personally. Pinnacle has the 12.5 at minus 132, so they're super juiced to go over the 12.5. So I think you know, worst case scenario, we see a push, but I think he's going to probably, like I said, I'm gonna probably take the demon option if they've got one. So they love his points over 11.5. I thought about going points rebounds. It was at like 25.5, but yeah, they are penalizing you a little bit. I think they're bumping it up a full point if you take them together. So the optimizer's not liking that, but 11.5 points, they love that. 52.48% odds hit the over minus 129. So yeah, I mean, you have some options here if you don't want to take the rebounds alone. They like his assists over 1.5. They have that at a 50.45% odds to hit the over. But last time he played them, he had 0 assists. They like his points assists over. Does he have a rebounds and assists option? 15. They're not feeling it. Which would, yeah. So that's a 0.5 bump if you put them together. 13 and 1.5 be 14.5. You're getting at 15. So the optimizer usually doesn't like stuff like that. They have a 50-50 shot on his first quarter points. I don't really do those types of props that often. And when I say not that often, I mean like I've done it like it's been years. Just because I just want the full game. I don't like the sweat. And then if your first quarter prop burns you, you're just watching the rest of the game with your slip busted. So it's not fun to me. Excuse me. Unless I go make like all first quarter. Which still, I'm just not that interested in it. But if you guys want to check out this optimizer from Daily Grind, it'll help you figure out the right play to take. It'll also just put plays on your radar. If you don't have a person in the search bar, it'll just show you across the whole NBA looking for discrepancies for you. Like they think this 63.5 fantasy score for Jokic is way too high. Heavily favored, 57.69% odds to hit the under. It's the next closest is DraftKings at 60.3. This is over a 3-point bump on Prizepicks because everyone's probably taking the over. So Prizepicks going to keep bumping that, get people to take the unders and try to hedge. But that is really high. But this is also someone who, like a week or two ago, had a 30-20-20 game. So I'm probably not taking it, but that is heavily juiced to the under. Kevin Durant, 57.06% odds to hit his under 43.5 fantasy score. We know they've been bumping the fantasy scores up quite a bit because people just keep taking the overs. So these could be some options to capitalize on, especially in a situation where if they're playing a good defense, then the turnovers will actually go against that score. So here are some of the options if you guys want to look at what's on the board right now. They love RJ Barrett's 1.5 threes. 53.91% odds to hit the over minus 136. Did I cover RJ Barrett on here? Just in case I didn't, let me just pull him up again. I think I did, but we'll pull it up real fast just to make sure. Yeah, the 3-pointers over 1.5 they like as the best play. 53.92% odds hit the over. Yeah, and they like the rebounds and assists. 51.31% odds hit the over. So yeah, use code JRUSSO at dgfantasy.com. You'll get 25% off for as long as you want to lock that in, all the way up to a year. And if you want to check out Outlier, You can try this one out for free. You just sign up through the link below, and they're going to give you a week with this app just to see how you like it. And once again, code JRUSSO over at Underdog, up to 1,000 bonus cash plus a free pick to help you cash your first slip. That's going to cover the plays for today. I will put my Flex Friday slip, my protected play, in the community section of my channel. So make sure you're subscribed, and you should, if you have the bell on, you should get a notification when I drop it. But I would just check here and there because I mean, sometimes you don't get the notifications on YouTube until it's, been hours. So just check back if you want to see what I'm getting into. I tend to make YOLOs with like a bunch of demons because you're getting that money back regardless. But guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Let's get started off right with some green. We're overdue for a sweep here. So hopefully today's the day. Have a great night, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.